This is an old beat up truck, and today I'm going to be attempting to restore it using nothing but Harbor Freight tools in my backyard. You might be wondering, why would anyone take on a project like this? And the answer is simple. I've always dreamed of owning a clean OBS, but after taking a hard look at my savings, it became clear that buying my dream wasn't an option. So instead of spending money, I decided to invest something even more valuable, my time, and rely on the most budget-friendly tools that are available to me. Which, one of the most important tools being these hands, cuz.
With labor costs nearly doubling since the pandemic, doing the work yourself is going to be the most budget-friendly thing you can do.
Now, restoring your truck yourself is one of the most rewarding ways to make your dream come true. But that doesn't mean it's gonna be a smooth ride. This took me months to do, and along the way, I encountered plenty of challenges, setbacks, and learning opportunities. You cannot make this shit up, bro. But before I get ahead of myself, let me take you back to where it all started. All right, so this is a truck that we're gonna go check out. 1992 Chevy, got a turbo diesel on it. Pretty excited, man. All right, so I don't trust my truck. I just bought this truck. So we're gonna go down to my dad's house and let me borrow his truck. I have to go rent a trailer, and this guy lives about 3 hours away from my house. So we're gonna go check out the truck, see if it's a good candidate, and we're gonna try to restore this thing. Now, I started working on cars at a very young age through necessity when my dad bought me a 1991 Honda Accord that burned more oil than gas every week. As I got a little older, I started working out a little bit. You know, my arms were getting bigger. My head was definitely big, but I wanted something nice to pick up these girls in. A vehicle where they didn't have to use Gojo after getting a ride in. And that's when I saved up to buy a one owner 1999 Chevy Silverado single cab short bed with a 5.3 motor in it. And that's really where my love for working on vehicles took off. I swapped out the front end, dropped it, threw some 20s on it, and got a local shop to paint the truck. So I know my way around tools, but at the same time, I'm not a professional, especially when it comes to paint. So let's see how far my experience will take me with this truck. When it comes to buying a truck for a backyard restoration, you want to find a truck with a good foundation where the frame isn't rusted out, the interior is decent because interiors can get very expensive, and the paint and body isn't too bad. So this truck was perfect for a backyard restoration, guys. And it has that it factor since it came with the turbo diesel in it. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is give this truck a tune-up and make it safe-ish to drive. That means changing the oils, changing the brakes, the brake pads, and brake lines. Now, I had a ton of trouble trying to find the master cylinder for this truck, but turns out that turbo diesels use something called hydro boost brakes compared to vacuum boost brakes, like in my 2005 Silverado shown here. So turns out I was looking for the wrong part the entire time. Once I swapped this thing out, we finally had brakes. Fun fact, I used to be in a band with my brothers and dad when I was a kid. That's me with the fresh fade. So music runs in my blood, and that's why we're installing a simple radio so I can jam out in La Mamalona. After all that, it was finally time to take my first drive, and I was super excited to hear that diesel whistle. It feels good to work on a truck, get it up and running, get the fluids changed out. It's a feeling that I can't even explain. It just feels good, and I know a lot of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. That whistle, man, you can really hear the whistle. Even though it looked like shit at the time, I saw the vision and nothing could stop me now. Well, until... oh, shit. Oh. Might have been the battery or something. It was running just fine. Might have just been the battery was loose. I tightened it up, or I just moved a little bit, and it seems to be working fine. So I think we're good to go.
Turns out it was a combination of my battery and alternator. Since this motor is so big, it needs 2 batteries, double the cranking amps in order to start it. It only came with 1, but once I added that second battery and updated the alternator, I never, ever had an issue with this truck starting. It always worked good right after that. Now that the truck is running, it's time to take care of the exhaust. Now, since it's a turbo diesel, I really wanted to have a hood stack. So I got these parts off of Amazon, and we need to take it to my brother so he can weld it on the truck. But first, we had to take off these 3 bolts. All right, so these bolts are not budging, so let's go ahead and make a cheater pipe. Because my dad always taught me that having the right tool makes the job 10 times easier. And if you don't have that tool, create it. How long you been welding for, Way?
I started working in power electric.
Damn.
So since 2007, I've been welding Heliart for 13 years.
And when did you start the company?
COVID, I can't stay put, you know?
Yeah.
So I started doing this.
You better not buck me, bro.
But once you grab his horns,
He gets pissed off. Oh shit. It's time for the bodywork and primer stage. The first step to any paint job is making sure that you have a good foundation to work with. And as you can see, we've got rust on the hood and roof of this truck, so we're gonna have to remove that rust by sanding both of these panels all the way down to metal and laying 2 layers of epoxy primer. That way we get that good foundation we're looking for. The rest of the panels are not going to get this epoxy primer treatment because we've already got a good foundation to work with. There's no rust and the paint looks fairly good. If you want a more detailed video on how I did my body work, make sure you check out this video up here. Now it's time to whip out the Bondo and fix some of these dents on the truck. Now, I got really lucky with this truck. There's not much body work to do. We do have some really bad fiberglass work here, and they tried getting custom and covering up these holes, but I like the bumper pad look. So let's whip out the Bondo and fix these areas and the rest of the truck, guys. The way that I learned how to do body work is through trial and error. The first thing you need to do is figure out how good bodywork feels like to the touch. If you don't know what good bodywork feels like, then it's kind of like having a goal without a target. You don't know what you're shooting for, so you're less likely to achieve your goals. And we've all been there. 3 a.m. watching motivational videos, but never making a plan to execute in the morning. If you're not waking up at 5 a.m., you're a piece of shit. If you're not making $100 grand a month, you don't have time for your coffee to cool down, bro. After your run, you're gonna wanna open up an LLC, take out a business loan, and buy Chevron. Boom, you own Chevron. Tomorrow's the day. It's gonna be like a freaking movie, bro. You got a family? F that family. Damn. After you're done disappointing your parents for the 4th time, run down to Harbor Freight and pick up this dent puller. This thing is surprisingly good for the price. It welds a metal stud to the metal, allowing you to pull on that while you tap down on the high spots. This thing works pretty good for $89. Harbor Freight, sponsor your boy. Then you're gonna add Bondo over that area, and then we're ready for high build primer. High build primer is a little bit different than epoxy primer because it's meant to be sanded down. You can think of it as a thinned out version of Bondo. Now, the gun I'm using is off of Amazon. It cost me about $30, and it's the first thing that pops up when you type in automotive primer gun. It's a 1.7 tip, and I'm spraying at 31 PSI. Now, to prep the panels, I sanded them with 220 grit sandpaper and wiped it down with wax and grease remover, guys. Now, I like to give my high build primer at least 2 days to dry because high build primer actually shrinks as it's drying, and so I want it to fully shrink before I go in and block the entire truck. And that's the next step. We're gonna take this truck apart as much as we can and pull out the block sands, guys. And if you don't have anyone to help you take the bed off, this is a great way to do so. I got my Milwaukee pack out or anything with wheels on it. Put it on there and push it off, guys. And after you got a block set, you're gonna wanna throw some control powder on these panels and block them until they're completely flat. And that gets us ready for base coat and clear coat. Now, we got a little bit of a problem here because I sprayed this thing out in the open when it came to primer. And RIP to those bugs who got stuck in my primer and got their heads chopped off by my block. But when it comes to base coat and clear coat, I really don't want a bug cemetery in my paint. So bring out the Harbor Freight 10. Now, I picked this thing up for about $150 with a coupon from Harbor Freight. And as you can see, we had a hurricane here in Houston and it kind of tore it up a little bit, but that's okay. We're gonna get this ground all cleaned up and we're gonna build this thing back up to its former glory. I got these $24 lights off of Amazon. They work great, man. Highly recommend them. Now, I'm not an electrician, but we need to connect these wires. So I figured let's connect black to black, white to white, and see what happens, bro. And turns out I'm kind of an electrician, bro, because you know what? I installed them, they turned on, nothing burned, nothing blew up. So I might drop some electrical engineering videos in the future. Be prepared for that, guys. Now, I highly recommend y'all build one of these things. It looks useless, it looks dumb, but at the end of the day, when you're painting, when you got the mask on, when you're busy, you need something to put your guns on. And where the heck would you put your Nexco sticker if you don't have your very own paint gun holder, cuz? Now, when it comes to airflow, there's positive and negative airflow. I have no idea what any of that stuff means, All I know is I like it when I turn these three things on. Pressure is built up within the tent, as you can see here. So that's telling me that fresh air is being brought into the tent and shot out through the back. And if you want a more detailed view on how I built my paint booth and how much it cost me, check out this video linked in the description, guys.
All right, guys, this is the setup. We're almost ready for paint, but first we need to do a final wipe down. All right, so I'm gonna be using the Nason Select Seal. We're just giving it a quick stir before we pour it into our cup. I recommend getting this universal system from Harbor Freight, guys, because it makes things a lot easier. You don't have to be cleaning a cup. You can just throw these liners away, and it helps you measure.
Before you shoot your clear coat, you want to let all the water out of your compressor. You want to let the water out of your filtration systems. As you can see, we got this small one right here, but we also got the industrial one from Harbor Freight. And Harbor Freight, sponsor me, bro. Please sponsor me. I'm using all your tools, and well, let's see how this paint job comes out first. But anyways, this is a setup, guys. And I'm using the Harbor Freight Black Widow paint gun. It's the most expensive paint gun at Harbor Freight, but it's at a fraction of the price of the expensive ones. And I run this thing completely wide open, 31 PSI for clear coat, 26 PSI for base coat and sealer. When it comes to painting, I look at it as a 3-step process: sealer, base coat, and clear coat. And for each step of that process, I read the technical data sheet and it teaches me exactly how to spray the paint. Here we're doing 2 coats of sealer. Sealer's really good because it helps you save money on base coat. Since we're using a dark base coat, this is gonna help with coverage, and it also gives you a nice soft surface when painting.
All right, so we got one more coat of paint, guys. And when we do this last coat of paint, we're also gonna do a drop coat. So a drop coat is really important when you're shooting something with a lot of metallic in it, because it helps those metallics lay down flat. That way you don't have tiger stripes in your paint job.
And god damn, this thing is looking nice, bro. I'm glad I chose this color. Wait until the end of the video to see how clean this truck looks all put together, guys, because sheesh, turning heads. Now we're mixing up our clear coat, and we're gonna do about 3 passes.
Guys, so I just shot the last coat of clear. I did 3 coats of clear on this thing, let it dry overnight. You know, I like to focus on one panel, and then I just repeat the process on the rest of the truck, guys. So let's get to it.
Now I'm condensing this into a 20-minute video, but this actually took me like 3 months to paint this truck. And I'm talking about getting off of work, driving an hour from work, getting home, changing and going out there and painting this thing, sanding it, doing whatever I could to finish it. And honestly, quite frankly, y'all need to lock in, bro. Like, y'all got way too many distractions. I broke up with my girl, man. Well, she left me, but you know, that who cares, bro? All my friends, I cut them off. I haven't talked to my family in months, bro. So y'all need to lock in, man. Y'all need to get this truck done, bro. Fuck, this is all I fucking got, man. Fuck! Yeah, just finish the truck, man. It'll all be worth it. 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 Hey, look, my brother's back. And we went to Harbor Freight to pick up some Vulcan welding wire. He said this shit's pretty good. I know nothing about welding, but we're going to go ahead and install an underbed notch because this thing rides like trash, bro. And you know I had to go to Reckless. I mean, look at the quality. If you're from Houston, you know exactly who I'm talking about. So watch this montage of my brother installing this underbed notch. Damn, came out nice. Came out. She's a little camera shy. Came out sick. Appreciate it, bro.
You got it, bro.
Cervantes Metal Fab.
Yes, sir.
Make sure I follow him TikTok,
yes,
YouTube, sir. Everything, man. Appreciate it. See y'all later.
Bye.
Don't you just love to see two brothers coming together and doing a job like this, man? Shout out to my brother. Appreciate the help. He helps me, I help him, and that's how it's supposed to be, man. So let's get to painting this frame, guys. Now, before we paint it, we got to chemically remove the rust and mechanically remove the rust. So right now we're brushing it off, and I bought some chemicals to turn the rust into some type of magic. I don't know what it does, but it basically turns it into a paintable surface. And we use this paint that actually seals in this metal and prevents further rusting. Now, after I painted the frame, did the underbed notch, it was riding pretty good, and painted the body, I actually drove this thing around for a very long time. And this is a message to anybody taking on a big project like this. You need to enjoy every step of the way. If you're just focused on the end goal, then you're gonna get there and not be satisfied. It's all about the progress and steps that you take to get there. So those late nights, the time that you spend with your brother, you need to cherish those moments, because once you get to the end, you're done. And we're humans. We're born to pursue things. And once you stop pursuing, then you start dying. And that's why I enjoyed driving this thing when it looked like crap, driving this thing when it was primered out, and driving this thing when it looked like this. Let's finish this truck up by color matching the bumpers, grill, and mirrors. And if you want to know how much I spent on this build, make sure you subscribe to the channel. once this is dry, we're gonna give about 2 coats of this, and then we're gonna paint this black. We're doing a 2-tone color on this grill. Kind of excited about it. The last time I did a 2-tone color on this grill was when I painted the red OBS, my second video ever on YouTube, and that thing, I swear it took me like 5 hours. I was up till like 3 in the morning painting that grill. So hopefully, you know, with that little bit of experience that I have, this will go a lot faster. But it's gonna be a 2-tone color. The inserts are gonna be black, and the outer color is gonna be bronze metallic, matching the truck. So Sergize, we'll get started, guys.
Fold it over on itself. Don't ever pull up, or you'll run the risk of pulling your paint up. Look how much I'm sweating, bro. That's stress right there, dog. But God, yeesh. Clean, my boy. All right, it's about 2 in the morning. Holy sh**. All we gotta do is do the clear, and we're home free, man. So let's move on to the next item, or depending on how I edit this, we may already be done, but let's just finish this shit up. Or pop your hood, bro.
You said trunk, I was like, no mames,
My hood. Let's check it out. Damn it.
it's clean soft también. Cammed out, they changed the pistons to flat top pistons, built tranny, victory red cut.
Damn. And then let's.
White wall on the outside.
I love the white wall too. I'm gonna get there, bro. One day I'm gonna be there.
Get there. I mean, shit, yours is. Bro, like, you don't fucking see that shit every day, right? Like, mira.
Little diesel
Pinche
swap.
diesel, no OBS, no mames.
Hell yeah. We'll get there. I'm gonna get there, bro. One day I'm gonna be there.
Get there. I mean, shit, yours is.
At the beginning of this journey, we had one goal in mind. Could we restore this truck using nothing but Harbor Freight tools? Every dent, every rust spot, every bolt, This truck has a story, and we're here to bring it back to life, proving that passion and persistence can outshine even the fanciest toolbox. Because in the end, it's not about what you have, it's about what you can do.